So today I wanted to talk about like following your dreams and really like making space, time and putting in the energy to really like follow your dreams. Like I'm still kind of following mine. However, there's some milestones which I'm super duper excited about that I feel like I have achieved, so I can share with you guys. And I think last year, well there's a few that I'll talk about the smaller ones and then I'll kind of talk about the bigger ones. Last year I wanted to pass my driving test and I failed 3 times, guys, yeah, so this is like awful. Like I could drive, but whenever I did the test I was just so nervous. Met Michael's just like, oh, do it around my area. And before I met Michael, I didn't have any idea of like how I was going to afford these lessons because I wasn't working at the time, but I was just like, I don't care, I have no idea how it's gonna work, or I'm just gonna go for it anyway. And I started practicing for like my theory because it had been so long I'd done it, and I was looking into like tests and stuff like that. And like I said, I wasn't working, I had no idea how I was even gonna pay for these lessons, and I needed like what, £800 to do lessons. And I was just like, do you know what? If I worry about things like money or how, then I'm kind of limiting the ability of the universe to kind of work for me. So what was just really annoying was that if I just let go and just not care about the hows and the whats and the what ifs and just act as if everything's in place and I'm going to be able to do whatever it is that I need to do, then everything will come into place. For example, I booked my theory, I booked this thing on Groupon where you've got like 6 lessons or 4 lessons for like super duper cheap. And then I met Michael and then he was like, oh, I'll teach you how to drive. I was just like, oh, okay, cool. I had no idea that someone was just going to come out of nowhere and teach me how to drive. I was just like, oh, cool. Turns out he was really crap and he was just like, do you know what, I'm doing such a rubbish job, I'm going to pay for someone to do your lessons. I was just like, what? Really? And I feel like, yes, like I was grateful enough to have someone to like pay for my lessons, but if I sat down and started thinking, oh my god, how am I going to make this work, how am I going to do this, what's going to work out, then it was just, then I'm kind of just limiting the fact that, you know, I wanted to do something. Or like, for example, work, for example, okay, so for example, work, I've always wanted to work in advertising, and to the point where like I used to work in beauty as a student, and working as like a on-counter beauty makeup artist was good, it was fun, but it wasn't like creative enough, and I just didn't want to get stuck in that role or in that kind of profession because it kind of was there to help me through uni and not to like be my career, if that makes any sense. I still obviously love beauty, hence why I make YouTube videos, but I just didn't want to be like an on-counter beauty assistant or like makeup artist. And I found that once I was able to like remove myself from that situation, like I was able to like really focus on like, okay, what is it that someone in advertising needs to know. I really was able to research the skills, I was able to like go to loads of interviews, whereas if I was kind of tied down and made this if I was kind of tied down to this job and I was like so encapsulated by the fact that I was earning some money, then I would never have made the time to kind of make the transition. And I've got like a lot of friends, no offense to anyone who works in retail or anything, who kind of feel stuck, and it's like now you've got so many financial commitments that you can't necessarily step away. So the best time is at university. Once you're done, don't just settle for a job and then get stuck into it for like a year or 2, because if that's the case then you can never get out of it, and then all you do is kind of just live for the weekends, and what kind of life is that? So I just want to say, like, it's going to be hard. It took me 3 years to get into the kind of actual advertising that I'm in now, but it's because I just completely refused to be encapsulated by a completely different profession, which wasn't really what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go. So I know it might be hard, I know you might not have any money, or you know, you don't have the energy or you don't have the time, but it's all a mindset. If you want to do it and you want to achieve it, like you will, like regardless, like you will stop making excuses, and the excuses don't do anything, because if you look over your life over, let's say, 12 months, if you say, okay, at the beginning of January I wanted to do this, and then you're at the end of January and that's still on your list, then that means all you've done for 12 months is made excuses. And you know what? Time keeps going, and no one says, hey, wait, time, stop. This person here hasn't been able to achieve their dreams, so could you just slow down a bit? That doesn't happen. Time keeps going. So one thing I would just say is kind of just persevere, push through. There's a saying that that I used to live by that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. And it's like, once you're ready to kind of put out and do the work and put in the energy and, you know, just go for it. And even if there's people talking in your ears like, oh, you know, Wanda, I don't think you should do it, you know, it's not going to work out, you know, well, this person failed when they tried to do it, so like, don't do it. What did you do? What have you achieved that you're going to come and tell me that I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that? Like, you're focused on a dream that no one else can see, and if you're lucky enough to have people to buy into your dream, great. And if you don't talk about it, don't tell them, because they're going to think you're crazy. But when you're up there cruising, living your life, living your dream, they're going to be stuck somewhere in some life that they hate. So my thing is just persevere, push on, don't worry about the hows, because God is amazing. Like, he will like make everything possible, so don't worry about the hows. Let's leave that to him. Just work on what you can work on and everything will be history. Like, I'm so grateful now because I persevered for those 3 years of like struggling and like, you know, working in like jobs where I didn't want to kind of commit myself full time, because I didn't want to commit all my energy to something that I wasn't really gonna like do. And you know, when you get older, you don't necessarily have all the energy to put into things then. So it was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm still broke. Like, all my friends are working in the city and going to the bars and doing this and doing that, and I'm still here and I'm still broke and I hate my life. And then you get depressed, and it's just not worth the energy, it's just not worth the time, it's just not worth it. So just persevere, push on. If you're at university and you hate your degree or you hate a particular module, don't worry about it, push on. You've got the rest of your life to live. So don't worry about this one module that you hate, or like this one boyfriend that's giving you problems, or like, you know, the strain of what starting a business is doing to you. Just forget about it and just keep pushing on, and trust me, we'll be riding together. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I shall see you on the next one. But till then, remember, the world is your oyster. See ya!